Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom.
Shalom.
Call halal,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Rakakodash. I want to send double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. It's Ariala.
This is Brother Bakwasher.
And, we just wanted to kind of address the topic of the week, which has been the Al-Azhar situation. I feel like, a lot of great points have come out with the situation. It was kind of good that he did that. It caused brothers to kind of get into scriptures and talk more about the Lord and the order of Melchizedek and order, mindset, and arrangement. But it also does bring up issues that I like to look at and address and talk about, which is, a lot of things that happen with us through the curses, through the time of us being in this captivity, has caused us to really struggle in the flesh, in our mind. And Al-Azhar is a great situation of someone who suffers from a lot of, spiritual and carnal, probably daddy issues psychologically, and it has translated into how he is within the camp, or how he deals with certain situations, and you can see how his viewpoints towards Apostle Har, with Apostle Tahar being his spiritual father, how he's struggling, and this ministry and what we got going on, it reveals the thoughts and the hearts and intents of everybody. And we all deal with these issues, but I think right now this is totally at the forefront for him. It's something that he's really gonna have to deal with and overcome. At least he be destroyed. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 12. Read that out.
Yeah, This is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Right. So what happens is, it reveals, the word reveals our character, reveals our intentions and our integrity. It's revealing time in and of itself. If everybody's being put to the line and being saying, okay, you're on this side of things, you're on that side of things, by the word, and to the point to where even Al-Azhar was like, oh, you know about the book of Hebrews, wow. Just because it caused so much cognitive dissonance inside of him, because the Levitical priesthood fumbled. It's over, okay? We're not working underneath the Levit. We don't have any authority in the Levitical priesthood. That contract was broken. The only way that we do have some type of authority is by coming underneath the order of Melchizedek through the sacrifice that Yahweh Shai made. Point blank. Period. There's nothing else to talk about. Okay, even to the allegory and to when the temple, when it was rent, when the Lord was sacrificed, there was it kind of alluded to that transition to the order of Melchizedek.
Right.
Where the veil of the temple was rent,
Right. Verse 13, it says, neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Right. So everything is made manifest. And so what I wanted to do is kind of talk a little bit about daddy issues that we see within the camps, we see within people that come into the truth, in the signs of it. Okay, so let's go to 1 Corinthians 4 and 15 real quick.
I got a quick piece of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 10. It says, I the Lord search the heart, I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. And so everything in which we're being evaluated, we're being examined. So as the elder was talking about, that's what this word does. It examines us. And so you can either have the fruits of the spirit, or you can have the fruits of carnality and rebellion.
Yep. And we see that popping up more and more. This specific example with Al-Azhar is a really, really good example of, like, dang, like, he's really struggling. Like, he really is hurt.
Yeah.
Like, dang. Okay, so we have to watch out for these things even within our own selves.
Okay, come. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 14. I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you.
Right. And so a lot of these epistles and a lot of these video epistles that go out from the apostles and elders, they go out as an admonishment, they go out as a warning.
Absolutely.
As beloved sons,
Mhm.
as us being kind of spiritual sons. And you can receive it as an obedient son and have faith, and the Father's trying to direct you. You might not understand the direction or whatever, or you can just, if you have daddy issues, it's going to be hard to receive any type of direction. Go ahead.
Verse 15, it says, "For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Hamashiach, yet have ye not many fathers. For in Hamashiach Yahushai I have begotten you through the gospel."
Right. There's a lot of people that you can learn from or whatever, have all these instructors, but you know where home is.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you learned the truth, and we all being honest with ourselves, we learned this truth through the doctrine and through the spirit that was given unto the apostles, Apostle Har, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Ramlab, so on and so forth. That's how we were birthed into this thing through the spirit. Okay, and so there's a respect, there's an order, there's an understanding that comes along with that. Okay.
Verse 16, "Wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me, for this cause have I sent unto you Timotheus."
Mm-hmm. And that's the point on that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point is that we were birthed in this thing by men. And through the spirit, things happen. And when it comes to the doctrine and breaking things down, when you have a disobedient son, badass kids, like I always say, it's something I used to always say, man, these some badass kids right here,
Yeah.
And so, watch out for that, watch out for badass kids. And so let's look at some of the characteristics of somebody that's dealing with severe daddy issues. This is an article, I just typed it into Google, and I said, you know what, let me show Akim something. And, all of us deal with daddy issues. You don't have to have your father not in the house to have daddy issues. Just because we have not been taught, our fathers have not been taught necessarily how to lead a house. So you can be in a house with your father and still have daddy issues just because that guidance and direction. The men have been beaten down in society to where they never really even had the ability to be a man in the house. They can be run over by the mother or the system or just the situation of things to where you don't even get the energy of a father in the house even though he's there. And so there's characteristics and syndromes that comes with that lack of chastening or discipline that comes from the father.
Right.
Okay, and you see these things happening when people that come into the truth, they get birthed into this thing, but they have so much daddy issues that they can't even take instruction, correction, or anything. Anytime something comes up for the sake of the gospel that hurts their feelings, they lose it.
Right. They knocking down the bottle.
Right. It's like,
I'm
out of here, man.
Right. Yeah.
F you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs this?
Right.
And it's just like, ugh. Suck it up, bro.
Right.
You're wrong.
Yeah, a lot of that is the carnality of not actually being open to correction. And you're going to go into a couple of those, but yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this right here is just an article from Lifestyle Capital. It says 7 signs you're a man with daddy issues, right? And he has the opening statements, but I'm just going to get down to some of these characteristics and read them and talk about them within the scriptures. It says you're aloof, right? This shows up by how you always choose to focus your mind on things other than what's going on in your relationships. And when we say relationships, we ain't talking about, the relationship with a woman. We're talking about a relationship amongst the brotherhood. You know what I mean? The order of things. All right. And when we're talking about being aloof, it means just unaware, completely unaware of, what's going on with the other people around you. You just don't have that type of sincerity or type of mindset with considering what the hell what you're doing and how it's affecting somebody else.
Right. You're not thinking of other people aside from yourself.
Yeah. Right. Everything is just me, my. I in the thinking to the point to where you do things that are just ridiculously selfish, and when people say something about it, you can't receive it.
Well, yeah, the scripture says, how does it go? A prudent man looketh well into his goings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so you're not being aloof is not looking well into your goings,
Yeah.
not thinking it all the way through.
Yeah, and so we see that whenever we see statements like I'm the chief priest of the Levitical priesthood,
Right.
and it's like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? You know that don't make no damn sense. But you're so aloof, you're trying to defend it, and it's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a good talking point. We can all go through the scriptures about it, but when you really it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what you're saying, it doesn't make sense.
What do they say? You sound smart to someone that's dumb.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Stop. All right? Don't be a smart, dumb nigga. Okay? Don't do that. Proverbs 23:13. It says, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shall deliver his soul from hell. All right? And so, I read that because, like, whenever you say something to a badass kid is only thinking me, my, mine. You know what I mean? They're aloof. They're not really paying attention to nothing else. And so you have to correct that child.
Right.
And what we see is someone who refuses to receive correction. And that is laid out in the rest of these characteristics. Okay? Mm-hmm. It says your relationship priorities are warped. Right? It says you're unconcerned, you're disrespectful, you're commitment phobic, you're unaffectionate and very emotionally unavailable, you're irresponsible and extremely defensive. Right? And so I feel like aloof and unconcerned and having that brotherly love is similar.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we see those things spiritually with some people, man. We don't want to be spiritually unconcerned. We want to remain to have our passion towards this thing, and we want to make sure that we have a heart towards this thing.
Right. Because if I could add,
mm-hmm.
you're not really being brotherly, because as a brother, the scripture says that you should put every man, esteem a man better than yourself, and so when you're not doing those things, you're not accounting for the actual body, the body of Yahushua. You're trying to put yourself in the forefront when we're all, worthy of death. So yeah, I mean, everything in what you're doing isn't setting an example in which even Yahushua would, come back and look at and approve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Check that.
Mm-hmm.
Text message. Check it.
Okay, cool.
All right, and so I want to read this real quick. This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. It says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Right? And so whenever we dealing with people that are dealing with a lot of spiritual daddy issues, man, you see that. And you see that there's a begrudging heart. There's always a heart towards strife. There's a heart towards debate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's that, and there's that. There's just their heart towards having even the name Sakari in itself gives off that sentiment of someone that wants their lick back.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that's petty, in a way that's not really seeing the big picture. Like the Sakari made everybody take an L, bro.
Right.
It's not cute. The deeper meaning of it is really kind of like, come on, bro. Think. We just have to grow up, man. We got to grow up. Okay? It's an issue. All right? You're disrespectful. And we see these, and we see this disrespect even when we're here to talk about the apostles and elders, right. People that you directly learn from.
Exactly.
It's just like, come on, bro.
Right.
This is a person that is dealing with spiritual or just daddy issues, man. All right? You just pop off at anything. What's the scripture that you had pulled, disobedient?
Proverbs.
Proverbs what?
I believe 13:1. Did we read that one yet?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Con. This is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 1. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke.
A scorner heareth not rebuke, man. Okay? And just disrespectful, man.
Right.
Just would jump on a live and just say anything, let anything come out the side of your mouth, man. All right? It's just, and it's just like, ugh. Okay? But this is someone dealing with daddy issues. And it's so clear.
Mm-hmm. I got another one real quick. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." And that goes into all of these scenarios of having daddy issues, because, you're really not submitting yourself to the will of Yahweh Shemi Shai when it comes down to it. You're trying to usurp the authority of the Most High in His order. But when you do that, what you really is, you're showing your own slip. You showing your skirt. Because as a man of the Lord, you're doing things as an army. You're not doing things as a renegade or as a lone wolf, and that's really the vibe in which he's pushing.
Yeah, well, that goes into the next one. You're commitment phobic. You in this camp in San Diego, now you're in the Seattle camp. Now we're the Sakari, and now we're in Marshall Yashala. You used to be in this gang back in the day. You never committed to any. You're just jumping, and you probably seem similar in all the relationships you've had. With this woman, that woman, this wife, that whatever. Just dealing, just completely all over the place, man. All right. So you're not reliable when it comes to relationships. You're not reliable when it comes to commitment towards anything spiritually. We don't want to have that. We want to watch out for that, having those issues of being able to be committed to something, committed to a body, because that does take compromise. That does take interdependence that we talk about. And so we see that with like Alazar is a great example of someone who's dealing with severe spiritual daddy issues. Okay.
Right. Ooh, can I bring this out?
Yeah,
were you throwing that one? This is if you want to pull it up. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 14. It says, "Now we exhort you, brethren." I'm just going to highlight the unruly part.
Yeah.
"Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly." And it says, we can go into it. It says, disorderly. Oh, you want to play it?
Sure.
Strong's G 813. Autoctos.
It says disorderly, everything in which we're talking about, right? Because it said unruly. Well, what does being unruly mean? Well, the rule of Yahweh Shemi Shai that was set up well before we were even birthed, spiritually.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is circumvent what the Lord's rule is, His way.
Yep, there's a body and there's an order. And hey, man, my father, he ain't my this, he ain't my that. Just badass kids.
It says out of ranks, often so of soldiers, irregular, inordinate, immoderate pleasures, deviating from the prescribed order or rule.
Deviating from the prescribed order or rule, what was already written, what was already set to be. You want to deviate, do your own thing. All right.
One more. It says, "This word was used in Greek society for those who did not show up for work."
Just completely unreliable when it comes to being a part of the group and thinking bigger picture and getting in where you fit in. All right. So a person with daddy issues is going to be showing one or all of these signs, and this is something like I'm saying, it's something that we all have to watch out for, because we've all suffered. We're all part of a fatherless nation. So these emotions and tendencies will creep up in the flesh when we don't understand things spiritually and submit ourselves to it.
Right. And if I could, that's the reason why you have righteous, holy men around you to actually call out we're admonishing you now. The apostles have been, the elders have been admonishing you. But, if you're not open to accepting that, then that's how you remain with daddy issues. And ultimately, you're going to receive daddy's belt.
Yeah.
Which is judgment.
Yeah. And then the next one was you're unaffectionate and very emotionally unavailable, right? Can't be told anything. When you see yourself hurting or doing something wrong or someone is basically coming to you towards something, that wall is up. You know what I mean? You got that stony heart towards your brother. And I believe that's why certain things have happened in the past to where you think that's gangster. Like, that's what it means to be G. You know what I mean? And when really you're just an asshole. You know, really, you're just a jerk. That no, and because that you do have that cliquish sentiment
Mm-hmm.
that people are attracted to, but it leads to a culture of just a disobedient culture,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the sentiment that comes out of the Sakari camp. And not everybody. Don't get me wrong. It's not everybody that's in the Sakari that acts like that, but definitely there's that overall sentiment that comes from Al-Azhar, and it's just true, bro. You take it for what it is. And I'm not saying that other people are not dealing with these things as well, but I'm saying that it's highly evident when you see the actions.
It's promoted.
Yeah, it's like you see it. Like it's
Mhm.
like, dang, this is something psychologically really is heavily going on with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I always tell you, I was like, man, he need a hug.
Eating hamburgers on camera.
just mad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says you're irresponsible and extremely defensive, and now this is probably the biggest one that we see out of Al-Azhar, right? To the point to where it's just sickening. They can't wait to get into an argument with people just so they can have these type of backs and forths. And I think that's why you see a Passover at the strip club, or not the strip club, but with bottle service and tripping. Just like it's just not thinking.
Right.
It's ridiculously irresponsible to be in a leadership position and doing it. But because you can't be corrected,
Right.
it is what it is. And also then when I'm seeing what's coming, the backlash is coming out kind of like from this last recent statements of the Book of Hebrews and what he said about being a priest. It's no, like, you know what, man, my bad. You ain't gonna get that. You just gonna get that energy back of just, I ain't hearing what nobody got to say.
Right.
1 Thessalonians 5:15 says, see that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. And that's somebody that struggles with daddy issues. Okay, they gonna want to get their lick back instead of really understanding anything. Mm-hmm. They gonna want to come back if they feel harmed by something. They gonna say, oh, okay, I want to harm you.
Right.
We're the Sakari. We're the dagger men. We're the dagger men.
Right.
And so you see these examples over and over and over again of someone who doesn't care what I do. Mm-hmm. I won't justify what I do regardless.
Right. Sirach, if you want to pull this one up, Sirach 32 and started. I'm gonna start at 14. Mm-hmm. This is Sirach chapter 32, verse 14. Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline. So obviously you don't fear the Lord because the discipline is of correction. We're all being corrected. We're all being refined. We shouldn't be the same version of ourselves that we were when we first came to the ministry. You haven't grown. You've only continued to wither away in unrighteousness. It says, whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat.
Yeah, offended thereat. Or, you know damn well that the Levitical priesthood has no authority within this ministry like that. Come on, bro. We're not finna play with you. But you just a hypocrite. You just get offended when things come back at you. It's like, nah, bro, that's wrong. You can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something psychological and spiritual within you that just cannot receive reproof. You suck at it. You can't be told nothing, bro. You got daddy issues, man. And it stems to open rebellion. It stems to open disorder towards the person that taught you, who birthed you into this thing through the Spirit. And it's ugly.
Right.
And it sends the wrong message to younger men, and it's so that's putting more blood on your hands. Go ahead.
Verse 16, they that fear the Lord shall find judgment, and shall kindle justice as a light. And this is the point, verse 17. It says, a sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will.
Every single time, man. And we don't want to be like that. We don't want to find ourselves like that, you know, with the inability to take really just rebuke and order, you know. You have something else?
Can I read 18?
Mm-hmm.
It says, a man of counsel will be considerate. And so if you didn't take counsel of any enterprise that you've taken amongst yourself, and you just thought that, well, because I'm just gonna go out on my own, that even as we don't approve of those things through the Spirit, and that is love. That is giving you warning that this counsel is coming from Yahweh Shemi Yahushua. This ain't of men.
Mm-hmm.
It says a man of counsel will be considerate. Like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe. You know what? I think they might. But like you said, because of that hardness, that you're not willing to hear anything from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Lord returns, are you going to hear him?
No, he's already made that declaration. We the Levites. Like, bro.
How did you...
We the Levites.
Last part. It says, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when of himself he hath done without counsel. So yeah, it shows a lack of fear of the Lord, man. Because the apostles of Great Millstone is from where you learned. I'm not gonna say everything. Majority of what you know to this day, and you veered away from that just to, as you had said, basically live a life of being not corrected by anybody. Got that mafia mentality.
But even they had more order. This
true.
is just a badass kid. It's just an example, and I'm just, I'm calling out this example of how not to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is really an admonishment towards the churches, toward those who are really paying attention. We got to put off that nature of having daddy issues and really come into a way of that makes sense. That makes sense. True unity through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Yahushua. Not all this fluff. Not all this fluff, and that comes with bowing ourselves to what the Most High has ordained and ordered through men. That's a part of it. And so we all have to put away our own fleshly kind of things and put on the elect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's really all. I had another scripture, but I'm good. Do you have any more points?
I'll bring this one out.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Yeah. And we have parents. Did we bring up that one about fathers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And so the point being here is we all have order. You obey, your father. Well, hopefully you did to a degree, because that may be part of the reason why you have those daddy issues, is because you've always just been rebellious and you've never accepted any type of obedience from anybody. Mm-hmm. But as men of the Lord, we are to obey our parents physically and spiritually.
Yeah, man. And so, you receive the instruction and breakdowns, and when you have daddy issues, you will make an excuse that you've been provoked to wrath. When all actuality, correction doesn't mean being provoked to wrath.
Right.
That's not the same thing, man. Being corrected is not being provoked to wrath. And being corrected and being obedient doesn't mean that you're being a man pleaser. Because that's the default excuse. See, but that's what we're addressing today. Is that we have to put off the weak nature. We have to put off that weak nature of having those past daddy issues and the inability to come under any order and rule and really understand and be spiritually discerned in this thing. So that's all we want to bring out right now, man. With that, man, we're going to say once again, call hello, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word sincerely and true. Shalom.